Welcome to the Cons and Ferris High School Sports Show. I'm Jeff DiVeronica. He's Steve Bradley. Happy New Year, buddy.
Happy New Year. We're back at it.
We are back at it, and we're going to start out with the kings or queens for much of the past decade of Section 5 girls basketball. We're going to welcome on Kevan Sheppard, the coach of the Bishop Kearney girls basketball program, and Kaia Goode, the senior guard who is headed to Lemoyne College. Congratulations on that, Kaia Goode, on getting a scholarship to Lemoyne. A great Section 5 history there with some really good players. I think maybe the first one I remember going there was Stacy Schrader, formerly of Fairport fame, way back when. But Kaia, I guess I'll start out with this. What sold you on the Dolphins?
The team atmosphere was it really sold me. The coach was very welcoming. She had a really good background in coaching. She was at Syracuse. She was at another top D1 school. And I have a cousin that goes there, and that's really much what sold me. Just the atmosphere, the team, and the coach.
You know, Jeff, I was talking to Kevan last year where they had a senior-laden team, and he said, hey, we're going to be all right. The cupboard's full. We got young players coming up through the pipeline. Kearney's 4-2, Jeff, after graduating a lot of players that played a lot of games. And they're the best, highest-ranked Section 5 team in the state polls, too, in Class AA. Kevan, 4-2, what's going right for you guys so far?
Kaia.
26.3 points per game. We'll get to that too. But beyond that, I mean, it's a great start, and you're not often under the radar. But you think maybe that you're sneaking up on people this year?
We haven't played that many teams locally yet. That's getting ready to change. But sort of like with the group that just left us, this group has been there the whole time. Kaia's. She's been a leader for a long time, so she's finally a senior. It seems like she's been here forever.
It does.
Everybody beneath her, they've all played together for a long time. They have really good chemistry, and they've just been waiting their turn, and it's finally here.
Kaia, I asked this a lot of kids who've been in the program, no matter what the sport is, 4 or 5 years. How did it feel when you came up and were a youngster on this squad, and how do you feel now? What did you learn from the girls who came before you? I'm going to guess the Allure Simmonses, the Charisma Bryants. Maybe you didn't play with Charisma, but Allure maybe. What did you learn from them? How did you feel as a youngster with this group? And I guess how do you lead now as a senior?
As a youngster, I did feel a little bit intimidated at first coming in, but as the years got on, I began to come into my own and gel with the girls and learn that it's really much about teamwork and hard work coming together in practices, doing stuff out of practices, creating that chemistry is pretty much what really helped us get to where we are now.
Kevan, break down Kaia's game for us and how it's grown over the years.
Over the years, Kaia came in as a phenomenal soccer player. So defensively, she's always been one of the best around here. As an on-ball defender, she really makes it difficult for the other team. It took her a couple of years to come out of her shell offensively, but she's out of it now. She understands that we actually need her to do it on both ends, offense and defense. And the more that she does that, the easier it is for everybody else. And it was a little tough at the beginning of the season, but it finally clicked, and ever since then, she's did everything we needed her to do.
Now, Kaia also led Section 5 soccer in scoring, Jeff, with 55 goals. Kaia, does taking on a larger role come easy for you, or did that take a little bit of mental work too to accept that and do what needs to be done?
It did take a little bit of mental work. As for soccer, I've been playing since 7th grade, and I've been having to be a team leader since then. And then for basketball, I wasn't really a team leader, so I picked up where they all left off.
Was soccer your sport? Or was basketball your sport and you're just really good at soccer? What's your sport?
Both sports. I was pretty much 50-50 both. Well, 100% both.
And what about for college? Is this something you want to try to do at Lemoyne, or are you strictly basketball?
Strictly basketball. It was fun. It's not what I want to go to college for, though.
You are, of course, the daughter of a coach, which brings a nice advantage to you, too. Coach Kaia Goode, the Kearney boys coach. I covered him when he was in high school.
Fantastic player.
Yeah, terrific. Went to the state championships with under Coach Natopsky then. I guess, what did you learn? What have you learned from your dad? I just got done watching Cobra Kai last night. So, and I'm watching.
No spoilers, please.
I'm watching Daniel LaRusso coach his daughter, though, right? He's coaching his daughter. But is there a point where, you know, your dad is your coach too, or is that strictly, are you sitting next to your coach?
Well, I sit next to my coach. He like years before, he has been like a coach like in my ear, but now he backed off because he knows I know who to listen to and what to do.
That's exactly what happens at Never mind, I'm just kidding, Steve.
Kevan, yeah, I haven't gotten there yet.
I'm just kidding.
Give me some patience. Kevan, you've got 5 players, though, averaging 8 points or more. So with Kaia at 26.3, you're still getting contributions from Clarissa Goode, who a freshman guard, who I'm guessing that's your younger sister, Kaia, right?
Yeah.
And then Cadence Hadley at 9.3, Amaya Jackson at 9.1, and Anaya Rowe at 14 points. So that ball's moving around and getting distributed. You've got a lot of players that are doing good things.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really wanted to be the team where if you stop one person, then it upsets everything. Like you're going to have to guard everybody on the floor, and they do a good job of keeping each other involved. They don't really care who scores. Kaia just seems to do it more than everybody else, but
well, she is the senior, right? I mean, she's the senior. 41 points against the Park School. Kevan, I don't remember in the run of covering your teams over the past decade or so, anybody that scored 41 for you. Am I wrong? Has there been a player in your tenure that had 40 points or more? Mariana, maybe Mariana.
She didn't hit 40. Breasia Mason hit 40. Serena Moore hit 40. And I believe Sanaya hit 41.
I think so.
Yeah.
So what's interesting to me is, after covering these teams over the past decade or so, Steve, is this is a team where you have a player who you know is your go-to. KG right there sitting next to you, right? And I would say in most of the past several years, there hasn't been that one go-to. There was always, who's going to get the ball with the game on the line, which is interesting because I know you've played against teams where you say one dominant scorer, but here you are, a proven commodity, a senior, and the rest of the rosters, 7 of the 10 are freshmen and sophomores. So with the game on the line, Kaia Goode, you're going to get the ball probably. How has that been, knowing that? And have you needed to work on your game to make sure you have some go-to moves as the go-to girl?
I work on my game every day. So, yeah. And I had to improve my mindset so I'm not like getting too down on myself if it doesn't go my way.
We're talking to Bishop Kearney girls basketball. Take a quick break, come back more. It's the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show.
Looking for a used truck? Can you find one out of 350? At BobJohnsonAutoGroup.com, you'll find one. Love SUVs? 800 are waiting for you to take one home at BobJohnsonAutoGroup.com. Add 350 pre-owned sedans, and you've got a total of 1,500 used vehicles only at BobJohnsonAutoGroup.com.
Bob Johnson's got you right. Bob Johnson.
While we celebrate 140 years of serving our community, the kind of delicious joy that lasts a lifetime, we look forward to serving you for 140 more. With hardworking, wholehearted, passionate people who will help shape new memories for generations to come.
When it comes to workers' comp, things can change quickly. The only way to make sure your rights are protected is to have a trusted, committed attorney on your side.
An attorney who has devoted their career to helping injured workers.
Someone to fight for the money and medical benefits you deserve.
The only person on your side
is the attorney at your side.
Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys.
The best three things here at McQuaid are definitely the sports, the brotherhood, and the service to community. I think that's a really big, important thing that McQuaid stresses, which is part of creating a better and great man. You definitely feel a connection with your fellow students here. It's being all guy school. You're able to relate to each other on a personal level, and everyone's very welcoming here with open arms and willing to be your friend.
Local McDonald's operators care about our local schools, teams, and student athletes. That's why they support the return of high school athletics in the Rochester area and around the state. See you before or after the big game at McDonald's. Welcome back, Section 5. Game on!
In these challenging times, our dedicated team at American Custom continues to provide top quality installations to every customer. With guidelines and restrictions changing daily, we apply attention to every detail. You can trust our team to make sure the job is done right.
Welcome back to the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show. Jeff DiVeronica and Steve Bradley with a special announcement as we do part 2 of our Bishop Kearney interview here. Our G&G Fitness Coach of the Week is sitting right there. His name is Kevan Sheppard, and I'm pretty sure you've won the award. I mean, we've done the show for 19 years. He's been around for like 15 of them. Pretty sure you've won this award. But, Kevan, I say this because it's not because you've won, I think, 8 Section 5 titles, 7 in the last 11 years, a state championship way back in 2013, but it's because you give young women an opportunity to go get their college education
and
paid
young men
for.
too. I mean, if you're talking about basketball in Rochester, if he's not your first or second phone call, you're probably not talking to the right people.
Well, between Chinoso Oboko and Thomas Bryant and Isaiah Stewart, you've played such a key role in helping young people develop. And you're a guy who's from here, right? You played at East. You went on to Kentucky. And I never really asked you, who were big influences for you, Kevan Sheppard, as a coach?
John Chaney was my coaching idol at Temple.
Did I say Kentucky? Did you go to Kentucky?
I was born in Rochester. I was actually raised in Kentucky, but I went to school at Temple.
What did Chaney teach you? What did you take away from him? Because you don't act like him on the sideline.
Nah. I learned how to internalize it because I had to internalize it sitting on the bench. So I learned early. He just teached defensive intensity. Like, defense wins games. Offense makes it fun, but if you can stop the other team, you got a better chance at winning than if you have to depend on what you can do offensively.
Kaia, what's the biggest lesson that you've learned from Coach Sheppard?
We need to that's a lot. Biggest lesson, it would have to be, play the whole game like the fourth quarter, because over the years we've struggled to come out as good that we come out in the fourth quarter. So that would be a top one.
Yeah, that was a recurring theme, wasn't it?
But we've seen them play enough, Jeff, that and one of the things that's impressed me about Kevan is that I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, they're down double digits in the sectional final to Penfield, and he's not panicking. It's like they know it's a 32-minute game, and they play calm, and they do play from the opening tip to the final whistle. And one thing that impressed me, Kevan, is like you almost had him right where you wanted them, and preaching that calmness. How do you get that across to people? Because when you look at the scoreboard, you might be deer in the headlights, but then you have to keep playing.
I mean, really, when I first started, the more emotional I was, the more losses we had. So I just learned if I stay calm and composed, they will too. Like, if they think the coach thinks it's over, then it's really over. And as long as you can, I mean, we're never out of it. And I mean, I know what type of talent they have. If they just put it all together and focus, then we got a good opportunity of coming out on top. And the longer that I'm with certain players, the longer they understand that. So Again, if I stay calm, they stay calm. If we're calm coming into the fourth quarter, I like our chances.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because obviously you have confidence in the talent on your roster, which you've always had. But in thinking back as you're talking, I do remember a more animated younger man on the sideline for Kearney. And now there are times that I'm amazed. Like, you are the exact opposite of some of your rivals. Like, Vogt wears out his shoes in one half. Tom Vasey could get really animated at times in the sideline. You could hear it coming from a huddle over there. But you're the exact opposite. And I guess, Kaia, you've probably had coaches that get in your face and get loud. And coach is not like that. Does that help you to keep your poise when he's pretty calm over there?
It does. It definitely does. Yeah.
Is your dad a coach like that, or is he pretty?
I say the same stuff that other coaches say. I just whispered.
So, Kevan, you know a lot about basketball, not just the girls basketball in Section 5, AAU, boys basketball, college, NBA. What's the best story in local basketball that people aren't talking about right now? What should we be talking about or knowing about that we don't?
I mean, just Section 5 as a whole has been a hotbed for talent. And if we can have our players in a position to accept a scholarship, we're always going to have the players with the talent to go and get the job done. It's like every one of our guys that leave, guys, girls, players, period, once they leave and get to college, they excel and they make Section 5 as a whole look good. And the more we pour into them, the more they come back and they put bigger eyes on our area and just give a lot more people opportunity to accept these scholarships and travel and do things that normally they wouldn't have that opportunity to. It's like it's Section 5 as a whole. I don't think a lot of people realize like how good the local coaching is on both sides, girls and boys. When you look at the state rankings, we have so many schools from our area, and like it's a rarity in other places, but I don't think people realize like how many teams from our area is in every state classification. And I think that's a big deal on both the girls and boys side.
Kaia, you've got a familiar foe next week, Tuesday at Mercy, your rival. How special are those matchups considering the history of the schools, certainly in recent history, when you get to see the Monarchs across them? How much more jazzed up do you get?
Well, to me, it's like any other game. You go in and you try to win, and we plan on winning.
We plan on winning.
There we go.
I love the confidence.
Yeah.
I love the confidence. Well, it's been an impressive run. Bishop Kearney, incredible, 7 titles in 11 years. I know you're coming off the loss last year, which last spring, I should say, to Penfield. We were shocked. Kaia, how shocked was your team that you guys lost to Penfield 54-51?
The group chat was blowing up.
So, Jeff, I just want to follow up with Kevin's point about Section 5 basketball being underrated. And I know he has done a lot along with others to put people in position. But when we had Megan Schonecker on a couple of weeks ago, she said that, she looked for somebody that competed to get to the college level. Kevan, when a player comes to you and says, I want to play college basketball, and they have the talent, what do you tell them that they need to get to the next level? What's the most important thing?
It's always your grades. It's always you got to have the mindset. You can't just be competitive on the basketball court. That competitiveness has to cross over into the classroom. If you're not competing to be the highest scorer on the tests, on the homework, on the total class grade, the same way you are on the court, it's just not going to work. And like we try to instill a competitive nature in our team, and like they brag about how many points they scored in the game, and they brag about the score they got on the test. And the more you can keep that camaraderie going back and forth, the easier it'll be.
Well, he's got another good young stable of players for the Bishop Kearney Kings, and I know that the future is bright, certainly for not only Kaia Goode this season and in the future at Lemoyne, but certainly Bishop Kearney. Kaia, we appreciate you making some time to talk with us today. Tell your dad that we said hello. And Coach Sheppard, always great seeing you. Best of luck to you. And He's wearing a hat now because I think the gray hairs are creeping in. I think he just had a birthday too. So good luck to you, Kearney. Thanks for being on our program, and congrats on being our G&G Fitness Coach of the Week, Kevan.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
All right, Bishop Kearney girls basketball right here on our specialties Skype hotline. All that great gear, you can find it down. Specialties, company just south of Rochester in Geneseo, New York, and always insightful from Bishop Kearney. I know people will crow about the private school thing, but the guy can coach.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it. And like I said before, he gives young people an opportunity to get to the next level, and that's very admirable in my opinion.
Well,
so,
and just listen to his last answer. What's the most important thing to go to college and play basketball? It's the academic piece.
yeah, very cool. So, all right, that's it. Thanks for watching us right here on Rock Sports Now. It's the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show.